Folks, let's talk for a moment about the kerfuffle in Gaza. I was calling it a genocide, but then I noticed that the mainstream media never does that. And we all know they are our betters. They tell us how to think, who to be, which oligarchs arse to lovingly tongue-bathe. I call them my lodestar because they are so full of shit they've dropped a load the size of a star. But I will follow their guidance in this case and call what's been going on in Gaza, at worst, fisticuffs. Anyway, we all know that this kerfuffle started when Hamas broke into Israel and killed 1,200 Israelis on October 7th, 2023. Much like Kendrick Lamar, that is undeniable. Here's 1 month ago from NBC.
This latest conflict began on October 7th when Hamas massacred 1,200 people in Israel.
But much like Kiss's farewell tour in the year 2000, we're not done yet. Just the other day, Reuters stated a Hamas-led attack on Israel on October 7th, 2023 that killed at least 1,200 people. NPR stated recently, 12 months ago, fighters from Hamas killed around 1,200 people. The New York Times recently said Hamas invaded southern Israel, killing roughly 1,200 people. And Yoav Gallant, who was Israel's defense minister at the time of the attack, said just a few weeks ago Israeli troops were ordered to shoot and kill captive Israeli civilians on October 7th, 2023. Wait, what was that? Israeli troops killed a bunch of Israelis? This seems to be a reference to the Hannibal Directive, which is the Israeli military sometimes policy of just killing everyone around, because that's the best play when you're upset about something. Just murder everybody. I often use it when I'm forced to post something on Instagram. Can we agree that's a shit platform? Can't make a video full screen on your laptop. Can't fast forward. Everything's disappearing left and right. Is this just me? Back to Israel. We all know the Hannibal Directive doesn't exist. The order to carry out Israel's so-called Hannibal Directive was issued tactically and in various places next to Gaza. Yoav Gallant told Israel's Channel 12, or apparently it does, according to the defense minister. That was my other guess. I had a 50-50 chance on that. But it's fine, because the plan to kill everyone was issued tactically. Just like every time I use my sledgehammer to kill an ant on my glass living room table, I do it tactically, with precision. Besides, what would the defense minister know about such things? If this were true, it goes against everything the media has been saying for 17 months. Well, not all the media, not Israeli media. Here's from Haaretz. IDF ordered Hannibal Directive on October 7th to prevent Hamas taking soldiers captive. So the Israeli military was killing a bunch of Israelis on October 7th. That 1,200 number that we've heard repeated endlessly for almost 18 months includes loads of people killed by Israel? Nah. We need to get an official trusted body like the UN or Ariana Grande's fan club to look into this. What's that they have? Ariana looked into? Oh, the UN. That makes more sense. The report by the UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry documented repeated uses of the so-called Hannibal Directive on October 7th as Israel was combating Hamas fighters. Well, what do they know? They're just the UN, which we all know stands for unreliable. Came up with that myself. Besides, the IDF might have killed a few Israelis, but it wasn't that many. I mean, what's that? Well, put it on the screen, Gary. Don't wait for me to ask for it. Just put it up. A new investigative article by two journalists with extensive sources inside Israel's military and intelligence establishment revealed that some 70 vehicles driven by Palestinian fighters returning to Gaza were blown up by Israeli helicopter gunships, drones, or tanks. 70 vehicles blown up? That sounds like it probably would have killed a lot of Israeli hostages and bystanders. Even if it were just 2 or 3 per vehicle, that's hundreds. It can't be that many cars, or we would have seen piles of them. It would have looked like a monster truck rally. There's no, holy shit, that's a ton of blown up cars. Why haven't I seen those before? Why aren't there tours being given of the wreckage? Why isn't there a lot of reporting on this? Israel admitted they shredded and buried hundreds of cars filled with evidence? Why in God's name would you, in order to save space and be as environmentally friendly as possible? Environmentally friendly? Yes, that is so Israel. When you look at a photo of Gaza, you think they're trying to be eco-friendly. Israel's the Greta Thunberg of ethnic cleansing. So let me get this straight. Israel has admitted they killed loads of their own people on October 7th, and they've admitted to destroying and burying all the evidence because they care about the environment. Oh, it's like the mafia always bury their victims in undisclosed locations in order to help the foliage grow. We can't forget the Gotti horticulture family. That's what they meant by pushing up the daisies. I always thought it had to do with push-ups. I didn't like exercising. No, it never made any sense to me. Okay, back up here. If a mass Hannibal directive were true, there'd be witness testimony from someone who survived. Oh, okay, here it is. The key testimony of Yasmin Porat, an Israeli woman who survived a massacre by Israeli forces at Kibbutz Be'eri. According to her account, many Israeli civilians were killed when Israeli forces opened fire with heavy weapons, including tank shells, at the small kibbutz house they were held by Palestinian fighters. Opened fire on a kibbutz house? I doubt it. I wouldn't believe that unless I saw the tank operators themselves admitting it on camera.
The soldier points and tells me, "Shoot there, the terrorists are there." I ask him, "Are there civilians there?" He says, "I don't know, just shoot." I decide not to shoot. This is an Israeli community. I fire with my machine gun at a house.
She was told to fire tank shells at innocent Israelis, but took the high road and just shot her machine gun at them? And she's proud of it? Okay. Maybe this was a rare incident. Maybe this one tank gunner went nuts, and this only happened this one time on October 7th. If it happened a lot, we would hear the IDF fire thousands of bullets and bombs and stuff. What's this? Gary, don't just put it up on the screen. Warn me first. Data revealed here for the first time shows that during the fighting on October 7th, the Air Force fired 11,000 rounds, dropping more than 500 heavy one-ton bombs and launched 180 missiles. 500 one-ton bombs? 180 missiles? Let me guess, these were tactical, precision-guided one-ton bombs. Those numbers don't make any sense. To achieve those numbers, you'd have to just be shooting at everything. What's this? Shoot at everything, one squadron leader reportedly told his men. Oh, I should have checked which quote was up next there before So, Israel killed hundreds of their own people on October 7th under the Hannibal Directive. So that 1,200 number could actually be 800 killed by Hamas, 400 by Israel, or 600 and 600, or worse? Why haven't any journalists asked Biden or Trump or Antony Blinken about this? Oh, right, I remember.
Do you know about the Hannibal Directive? Miller says he doesn't know about the Hannibal Directive. Do you know about the Hannibal Directive?
Again, I'm happy to address questions.
No, I want him to answer my question. Criminal! Why aren't you in the Hague? Why aren't you in the Hague?
You know, you normally have to be a reporter for the New York Times or the Washington Post to get carried in and out of the State Department press room. That was nice of them. So I guess not only will the revolution not be televised, but neither will real questions. Okay, I've got one more real question that I'm sure Gary has an answer for. Israel shredded and buried the cars. If this had really happened, there would still be surveillance footage showing the behavior of the IDF, showing what exactly happened. Critical IDF surveillance videos from Hamas's attack on October 7th are missing. Nah, you're just being a smartass, Gary. But what do you expect? I mean, if you're gonna kill hundreds of your own citizens, totally gotta wipe the cameras. Learned that from Ocean's 11. Or might have been My Best Friend's Wedding. Not the movie, My Best Friend's Wedding. That was a rager. It was. Only thing better I've ever been to, Kiss's 2023 farewell tour. That was epic. There is no other band that can sustain 23 years of farewell tours. And they did it with only 3 songs. It's incredible. Anyway, all told, there are mountains of evidence showing the IDF killed a ridiculous number of their own citizens on October 7th. And yet our rotting raccoon carcass of Western media faithfully repeats the lie every day to this day. 1,200 people killed by Hamas. It's unbelievable. It's almost like they don't mind lying at all. It's almost like it's their job. And my apologies to rotting raccoon carcasses. That wasn't fair to compare you to our media. I see you. I appreciate you.